Hello and welcome to Mind Your Business. I'm Stephen Meadows. In today's Hidden Gem, I'm going to talk a little bit about what it takes to make the jump from employee to entrepreneur. You might think it's a simple step, but it's really not. And it takes a certain type of person to truly make that transition. I've actually flipped back and forth several times in my career. I started out as an employee, did retail, then I was an employee at a real estate company, then I became an agent, then a broker, then I sold for many, many years, and then went back into corporate America. And, it was an interesting transition each time. So there are a few things, if you're looking to or have already made the change, there's a couple of things that you can do that might make it a little bit easier, or at least a mindset that you can adopt that will perhaps ease the transition. So the first thing that I would suggest is think about time. The biggest problem that entrepreneurs have when they become entrepreneurs instead of employees is time. Your time is your time. You do what you want with it. There's no one to tell you what to do and when to do it, when to clock out, when to take a lunch break. And it can be a very jarring transition for some people. I know people who absolutely cannot work independently. They just don't have it in them. Unless someone's telling me what to do, I don't know. I don't know what to accomplish. And that's okay. It's okay to admit that. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you admit that. The problem becomes when you're an entrepreneur and you don't realize you have that problem and you're wasting a lot of time. Like, oh, I just spent 5 hours watching TV on a Wednesday afternoon. Why weren't you working? Well, I didn't know what I needed to do. Are you waiting for someone to tell you what to do? Because this is your business, whatever it is, whether it's selling widgets or selling real estate or insurance or financial services, whatever it is, you have to make your own business. So you've got to look at time as an asset in your business. How are you spending it? Think of it like money. Every day you're given this bucket of money, time. How are you spending it? This might sound really cliche, but it works. When you think about time in those aspects, it is an asset of your business. Sometimes it's one of the only assets you have. So that brings me to my second one, money. So talking about assets in a business, you have time and you have money. Money is usually the one you have less of, especially if you've just made the change, unless you've been planning the transition and I'm going to save a bunch of money and then I'll do this, whatever. I know people who have done that. They've worked part-time in their new business and then made the transition once they felt the income was there to support them. And I've known people that just ripped the Band-Aid off, quit their job, and jumped right in. I've seen people succeed and fail in both aspects. So money is very important. You really need a budget. If you have X number of dollars allocated towards your business every month, what are you spending it on? Are you spending it on frivolous things? Are you spending it on things that just make you feel good? I see a lot of agents, and this is not a slam against coaching. I've already done a video about coaching and whether you really need a coach or not, so I'm not going to get into all that again. But I see agents spending hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month on a coach when they haven't even nailed the basics yet. You don't even have a good cadence of business. You don't even have a good routine built where I make my calls, I do this, I follow up with my clients. It's just, well, I need someone to tell me. That goes back to that first point of needing someone to tell you what to do. I find, please don't take this offensively, I find that people who desire coaching that early on in their business are lacking that structure. They lack that employer looking over me. And there's nothing wrong with it, as I said, as long as you recognize that's the problem. And if a coach is going to help you turn that around, more power to you. I hope it does. I really hope that the coach can give you some great advice and help you move past that. That brings me to my final point for today, accountability. So you have a lot of time and you've got a little bit of money and you might not have a lot of direction. You might not have that drive pushing you forward, and you might be wasting your money or your time on things that aren't productive. That's where an accountability partner can really help, or a mentor. Instead of an employer telling you what to do, give someone else permission to hold you accountable to how you're spending your time and your money. Think of them like an accountant. I'm opening my books to you. You're gonna look at my assets and you're gonna tell me how I spend my money, or at least guide me to spending my money more wisely, spending my assets more wisely, whether it be money or time. So give someone permission to be your accountant. Audit me on a weekly basis or a daily basis, whatever it takes. What did you do today? Well, I did. So you spent 3 hours. It's gone on X. Did X generate you any business? Was there any hope of X generating you business? No? Then that's wasted assets. So I think looking at an accountability partner from that respect could change the way you perceive your business, because it really does come down to a balance sheet. I hate to simplify things, but it's assets and liabilities, and sometimes you're your biggest liability. If you don't spend your assets correctly, if you don't allocate your time and your money and your resources to activities that are going to turn things around, you're never going to successfully move from employer to entrepreneur. That's the main difference. Employee to entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur is their own boss. There is no one else. You're it. You're the CEO of You Incorporated. So what are you going to do to properly allocate your corporate assets and make your business work? That's all I've got for today. I hope you have an awesome day and make amazing choices.